Greetings, heathens and heretics, and welcome to another In the Abyss album review episode thing, whatever you want to call it. Me and Old Man Reason and some riffs and all of that stuff. Yeah. How are you, sir? Are you good?
Not bad, not bad. I'd like to kick this year up the fanny, but apart from that, we plod on.
Well, yeah, that's what we do, isn't it? Well, grumpy old men, aren't we? So it's the best we can hope for. But this isn't a grumpy one, definitely not. An album that we're quite excited about. To be fair, I think is pretty accurate, wouldn't you say?
Very much so.
Yeah. So that album is Nervosa, new record, Slave Machine. Nice positive title. So follow up to 2023's Jailbreak, which we also loved. It was a bit of a slow burner for that for me, but once it kind of clicked, it really clicked. So this was always going to be an interesting one. But it's been a different approach for me this time. I mean, you're probably a bigger fan of Nervosa than me. Them and Crypta kind of took us by storm a little bit back in 2023, didn't they, with a couple of albums? So
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is a shared history there, but
yeah,
we won't dwell on that. I think,
no.
but obviously, yeah, I mean, there were both two damn good albums that year, so objectively speaking. But I mean, look, I again, like a lot of bands, I only really came into them with the last one,
Yeah, same.
after sort of discovering a lot of new stuff, and yeah, I mean. Think the general feel of it is they weren't a band who were going to I don't know um how we say sort of make massive waves, change the scene.
No, probably
It was
not.
this was a band just doing metal. They're doing metal and they're doing it well, and that's fine.
Yeah, solid but not
Uh,
spectacular, wasn't it? Really, I suppose.
yeah, well, on solid, but maybe not spectacular in the grand scheme of things.
The Jailbreak was when there was the bit of the lineup change, wasn't there, where the guitarist stepped into doing vocals as well, and that's if I'm reminding rightly,
I
that's
mean,
kind of how it all came together.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think it'd be quite reasonable to call them the Metal Sugar Babes at this point.
Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
I think with the last album they settled
Yeah,
into
yeah, that's how
before
it
then
felt. Yeah,
it was a bit all over the place beforehand with the splits and people moving all out. Obviously, Preaker took over the vocals as well.
yeah,
So there is that. So in some ways it was, not a debut album, but it felt, it felt like a fresh
a fresh
start.
start. Yeah.
Um,
I suppose
uh,
this album is like it's this is where you've got to step up and show your worth, isn't it?
in some ways, yeah, this group of people who have pretty much been together for for two albums now,
Yeah.
it's a sophomore for them. So there's kind of no excuse for not stepping up.
Yeah, I think there is. So initial listen and the first time put on, what was the first thing you noticed about it?
The first thing that I thought was, fuck me, this is a ferocious album,
Yes. Yes,
quite
it is.
simply. Um, and I was honestly not expecting that. I was thinking, yeah, okay, let's hope we've got some better songs, maybe a bit more oomph, but my God,
Yep.
they've done something with the knobs there. I mean, obviously that's all production and stuff, but you've still got to have the songs there to justify that. And I don't know what's happened in the last couple of years. The nights out with them all together must have been pretty decent. Um, but yeah, this is in terms of aggression and speed and
Mm.
metal oomph. This is one of the angriest records I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, it's aggressive, and I think it's noticeable from the start the how high in the mix the guitars are. So it just makes it sound really fucking, it grabs you by the balls and
It's
straight from the
it's
off, you know.
it's a it's an extremely satisfying guitar sound.
Oh, it is, and
Very
we've had lots of discussions lately, haven't we, about production and album sounding the same and all that kind of thing. So this doesn't suffer from that at all.
it doesn't. It's the it's not so much a crunch as it is a great big Godzilla goggle sizing up of a New York.
Yeah,
Um, The feeling I get from this album, from a production and sound perspective, is it reminds me a lot of City by Strapping Young
Strapping
Lad.
young lad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's that's something.
Crushing wall of sound.
It is, and that just that full on, yeah, just
Pneumatic drill. Fucking. Well, the opening track, Impending Doom, is like just full on fucking thrash death. A little bit of black metal in the mix as well, but like straight out of the traps. Go for the throat. No subtle intro, nothing like that. Just straight in.
you got that sort of intro, that little bit of a
Yeah,
build.
but it's very
It,
slight. But it's just the way it just kind of
it comes in
yeah,
just like wow, what? Okay,
yeah,
strap, hold on to your sides and all that. And it's that chorus.
mm,
It's not the chorus doesn't even there's no build up to the chorus whatsoever. It doesn't sort of present itself nicely. It's just wham, here
yeah,
you go. And it's a little bit off kilter time signature as well with it, but it's I think this is a potential album opener that's going to be up there.
yeah. And it'll be a live set opener as well. I would have thought. Again, because it's that sort of straight kick in the teeth. I mean, you can say the same thing about the title track, which comes straight after it. This is my favorite song on the album.
Okay.
It's a proper, like when Arch Enemy really hit gold back, in the sort of Wages of Sin era, just proper fist pumping, extreme metal anthems. It's got that kind of feel. Not necessarily comparing this to Arch Enemy because there's obvious comparisons, but there is a Scandinavian feel to this album, I think, anyway. Those great days of Arch Enemy. But the chorus on the title track is a massive hook. The guitar solo is something that Jeff Hanneman would be proud of. It's an absolute fucking killer tap. So by this point, 2 songs in, that's it. I'm locked in with the album, completely locked in with it.
Yeah. And I think it's not just about the aggression of those thrash riffs and the nastiness is, there's a lot of harmonized guitar
Mm.
there, isn't
Yeah,
there? Actual,
yeah,
2 guitarists. Well, now 3, they're a 5 piece, which they're going to need to be a 5 piece based on what this album sounds like. But you got, 2 to 3 people all clearly matching up in harmony as you want. It's very classic metal in that regard, which
yeah, it is.
they show quite well of a title track of the last album.
Mm.
So they've got that, but it's how they've they can step aside from your rollicking great thrashing throughout most of the song, and then you've got that breakdown and those solos, which is a bit more classic. And it all just flows really well.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Actually, the flow of the album is really worth it's worth touching on because, like you say, it is brutally heavy. It is really aggressive. The melody is there, the choruses are there. Like I said just now, the guitar solos are just absolutely on point. They all come in at the right time. None of it's too overblown. And then the song lengths in general, the longest song is like 4 minutes 20. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
it's 12 songs, just under 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it hits that exactly where you want, that 36 to 45 minute kind of gap, and look, they've absolutely fucking nailed it. And there are, I don't want to raise obvious points, but we're at a time now where, music and heavy metal isn't as male dominated as it used to be. And it just feels like they're a band that this is the album that should, give them that leap. Do you know what I mean? It's a stupid thing to say, but if they were all men, would it would opinions be different about them? Are we still suffering from that?
Yeah, it's a subject in some ways you don't really want to broach
Not
because
really, no, but it
you
is
wouldn't broach the
valid.
subject if it was men doing it. Look, it should put them higher up. I
Yeah,
mean,
that good.
it's got that sound, it's got that confidence to it.
Mm.
And yeah, if it was anyone else, excuse me, I think we'd be talking about seriousness rather than, oh, this is a damn good metal album. But this is the frustrating thing because I suppose as blokes, it's not really our place to talk about feminism and glass ceilings.
No,
Really,
no.
it's not our fight. For us, we're concerned with great bands making great
Yeah,
metal, and that this is what that fundamentally is. Um, on the other hand, there are a hell of a lot less women performing metal than there are men,
Yeah, of course there are. Of
and we want to
course there
we
are.
want to see that a bit more balanced, quite frankly. However, it happens. But it's been over 45 years since girls' school first emerged.
Yes.
So we should really be past the point where I think the gender discussion is a thing,
Yeah,
really.
it should be
Uh,
bollocks. The fact that you're still hearing the term female fronted metal and all that bollocks. It's but
it's
Cage Fight do a good play on it, don't they? Male backed metal,
Well,
so
yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
it's it's. I mean, dodgy connotations with using the word female anyway these days.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's yeah. Look, it's this is a fucking metal album, and it deserves to do well on that basis.
Yeah, it fucking kicks ass. Another couple of songs. You Are Not a Hero, big fucking chugging riff. Big old fucking head banging fucking riff. Just can't get enough of it. Um, The Call as well, which is another one that stands out for me. And this is my
Yeah.
only gripe with the record, right? Is The Call, I think, should be the closing song.
Oh, oh, that's interesting because I actually think the closer "Speaking Fire" works quite well. I
I quite
mean,
like the song, but it almost feels like it just takes the album off a little bit of a cliff.
I'm wondering, do you see the call as a bit of a sort of, I don't know, Damage Incorporated?
Bit of
Because
that,
it,
yeah. It's got a bit
yeah,
of it.
I get. I mean, yeah, because I think there are times on this album where it maybe should just back off a bit. I think that's probably my criticism of the album is that it's got ebb and flow because you've got up tempo and mid
Mm.
tempo, but you haven't got stuff that just stops a bit and slows down like you did on the last album.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
fair.
think there could have been a bit more of that because sometimes I'm thinking, let's just calm down a bit, but that's when maybe the songs are sort of good as opposed to very good, I think, at
Yeah,
times. Because I think, yeah, then you get to something like the call near the end, and it's like, here
yeah,
we go, we're on
yeah.
it again,
Properly is. Properly is.
and yeah, it's got that proper, full-on crashing, no shits given, and then you sort of go into Speaking Fire, which is again a bit mid-tempo, but it's unpleasant and it's dark
It's
and
dark, it's murky.
it's
Yeah, it is. It
and
is.
it's the thing. The whole thing about this album is it's angry, it's
Yeah.
pissed off, and to be fair, we should all be. I mean, every metal album should sound like this right now. Every pop album should sound like this right now.
Fuck yeah.
Um,
I think
so
we'd all be fucked if it did though.
I,
Be exhausting. But I think maybe just those two songs could have been switched round. Like The Call is the final song and Speaking Fire just before it. So brings it down and then it just finishes on a high. I mean, it's a
yeah,
small gripe, but
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think the highlight for me on the album is Hate. Because it
that's
just does everything I think for
yeah,
this album. It's just then, there's a little bit of everything. You got that chorus, you got those riffs, and you got that, harmonized guitars.
yeah. It all just hits. It's one of my favorite albums of the year so far, and because it just does what you want metal to do. Just fucking kicks you in the teeth.
Yeah.
Which is what we all want from it. I think what's going, they're now European based, aren't they? Based in the Netherlands, I think, aren't they now?
Yeah, I mean they're not, they're a transatlantic combo at this point.
Yeah, but I
I
think
believe,
being centralized in Europe will help them
yeah,
a lot.
I believe their bassist is from the Netherlands,
Yeah,
so that's probably the connection. But I mean, yeah, it's considering what they do and what their sound is, and the European connection should work for them.
yeah. I
Hey,
think it will. But then so would South America. South America loves its fucking speed metal and all that. So I don't think that would be an issue. But in terms of reaching out to a market, Europe is obviously going to be the key, isn't it? And obviously the US as well. But with all the European metal festivals and all that lot, that's going to be a big playground for them. You
I
know,
think they've got to get on the right bills.
yeah, hundred
They
percent.
really do. They need to get on those sort of larger packages that America's fond of and whatnot, and
Yeah,
not just giving up. I think.
those package tours are starting to make a bit of a comeback. We had it, didn't we, in the 2000s with all the new wave of American heavy metal stuff, and it kind of died off. But you're starting to see it a little bit more now when you have bands like Cannibal Corpse going out with Municipal Waste and Immolation and all that as one big package. I like those tours.
Mm.
You know, the Obituary, Testament, and I can't remember who else was on that tour last year. The one we just had now, Creator, Carcass, Exodus, and Nails. I mean, that's a hell of a fucking package. You know, we need more of that. And you're right. These are the sort of tours they need to get on.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be
Yeah.
great to see that, support someone like Cradle of Filth in Margate again, but I think they need to be doing.
There are show they have booked some couple of UK shows. Are they doing the Dome, or am I thinking of Crypta?
You are thinking of crypto.
I am thinking of Crypta. Yeah, ignore
Let's not
me.
think of crypto.
Fucking, yeah. But look, I've only I don't think I've ever seen. I haven't seen them yet. No, because they were at Bloodstock the year I wasn't there, so I've still not seen them.
Yeah, no, again, great on that. I was actually caught a bit of it earlier on YouTube. And it's sort of halfway through the afternoon without any sort of show going on. Obviously, you're a bit limited to what you can do
Yeah,
with that kind of
yeah.
music. But what you can do is perform and crush it, and generally they did.
Well, let's get this in the Black Heart or somewhere like that, and yeah.
No, I think that's a bit. I mean, Underworld, yes, potentially, but
That's probably more like it. Yeah,
I
but
think Blackheart would be a bit unrealistic even at this point. I mean, fair play to them. They've been going around for 15 years in
yeah.
some capacity, so they're not. Yeah, they're not new to this by any means.
No, I'd be happy with the Underworld. It's a great venue. And never seen a bad show there. So look, at the end of the day, it's a fucking great album. It'll be hovering around kind of top 10, top 20 at the end of the year for me, I think, because it's just I don't know, it just like I said, it just kicks my ass. And
Yeah,
that's what I want
this is
from
the
this
thing
album
is I
now.
think we're gonna come back to it a lot because it's just a pleasing
Mm,
record. Again, it's metal. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
yeah. The big, hard, heavy metal tin.
Yeah.
So yeah. So go and check it out. It's out this week on Good Friday. Praise the Lord and all that.
Anyone being
Um
Good Friday, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's mythical nonsense. I don't know what it's all about. But yeah, yeah, check it out. There's vinyl, this CD, all that. As usual, I think Napalm Records it's on, so get involved. I definitely will be, 100%. So
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. That's it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you soon. Stay metal.